this session, I won't be wasting your time, but this session is about answer writing and analyzing the papers. Paper, first 5 or 6 questions, so that you can have a basic idea about what to write in the questions. Now, as it happened that I am seeing evaluating the paper of many students and they are confused about the topic 1, 2 and 3. And to an extent, emphasis is upon writing the factual part of thinker rather than applicative part of thinker. So, in this context, it is imperative to understand that how I will conduct my test series and how you are supposed to write the answers. So, just let me give you a brief intro about the paper 1, because the first part will be paper 1 and after that we will also discuss paper 2. So, you see that this year thinker was of only 70 marks. Now, that is a big change from the previous year paper patterns of the UPSC. Topic 1, 2, 3 is of 100 marks, and in 2021 the thinker was of 100 marks and paper 2 and 1, 2, 3 of the 70 marks. So, you see it is important to complete your syllabus, and you don't have to be specific about one part. As it happened that we are generally confused in Parsons, Mead, so we focus excessively on Parson, Merton and Mead, and we focus on Max Weber or all the thinkers. Though it consists of nearly 50% of your syllabus in the paper 1, but largely now there has been change and we have to work as per these change. So, my methodology will be in the test series that suppose we are discussing the paper 1, in that section we will also discuss previous year question of the relevant topic. Say for example, emergence of the sociology. So, see, this year there was question that why sociology emerged in the Europe only. So, if you have the paper, you can see that there was question that why sociology emerged in Europe only. Now, if you will start writing about all the intellectual forces and the conditions and such other things, see, you are writing, you are touching of the point, but you are not writing the exact point. The exact point are that what was the socio-religious condition in Europe which forced the society to think in an intellectual way. Is it clear? So, you see that we have to write a comparative aspect of the medieval Europe with that of 19th century Europe. See, Ibn Khaldun, Chanakya, we have talked about in introduction, we heard about that these were the thinkers who talked about the society. But you see that it was only on the Egyptian society that political religious argument or consciousness completely enveloped the society, and that because of that there was unrest, and the same thing was witnessed in the Europe also. That's why this unrest needed a new perspective, and that perspective was provided by the intellectual forces. So, you see that we have changed the line of argument. We have attacked the, I believe that most of you will be having the question paper with you right now, or if you want I can read the question for you. Do you have the paper? Sushmita, also do you have the paper now? Europe was the first and the only place where modernity emerged. Comment. So, this was the region. This was the first question, that Europe was the first and only place where modernity emerged. Comment. Now, there is comment. So probably we have to talk about the definition of modernity also. That why Giddens and such other thinkers generally take the and even to some extent Rajinder and Gyaneshwar Pandey also talked about that there is the provincialized definition of modernity. That Western thinker applied or understood the changes in the Europe as modernization. So probably you can counter it and after that you can balance it. So you see that even though it is from the emergence of the sociology, it is the focus is largely upon application part. And no, you have to, and particularly I have seen that, I don't know why, but because most of you students generally take the first topic as very easy topic, that's why there is always lag in understanding or probably rating the answer. Hardly few answers from this particular topic, emergence of the sociology, is good. So I just gave you an insight, but the more important part is that probably you will find maybe something in this answer new. So are we supposed to read new things or are we supposed to focus on what we have already learned? In that case, these 75 days, just focus upon the consolidation. Just focus upon the consolidation. So suppose if you do have any doubt, I will be there to resolve all your problem. But you have to focus upon the consolidation part. Just remember it so that you won't stop writing in the test series or for that matter mains examination. Okay, you have to remember every aspect of it. How many thinkers? 4, 5. Not necessary. If you are comfortable, you can at least mention 2. But 4, 5, and they just don't go into the mad rush of citing the thinkers. So this is one way to just focus upon the consolidation part. Now the other part that genuinely confuses the student and to some extent me also, paragraph or bullet points, whatever works with you, but I would say that there should be a fine mixture of paragraph as well as bullet. Okay, just don't go into the rush of the language. Focus upon writing the main precise points. Third point. Now, what will decide your answer is knowledge, perspective and the writing skills. So knowledge, I believe that you must be having the knowledge, because when you will start consolidating your notes with the books, you will have certain knowledge. Perspective, that you have to develop, and how the perspective will be developed. For example, ethnomethodology. See, a very simple topic. So probably we can write everything, but just think about it, that during the times of COVID, what ethnomethodology would have provided us? What would have been the shape of ethnomethodological research? So that we are living in a fractured society and there is new inequality. It must be inequality, class and precarity. That how the COVID has turned into class into a precarious class. Okay, post-national othering of others. So you see that a very simple topic like ethnomethodology, where you don't have the scope to improvise, that you are supposed to improvise upon it. Now, limitation, online hate. See, if we try to analyze online hate in an ethnomethodological perspective, then there can be two traits. One, that those who are working under the guise of anonymity will not be sharing the same thing in the public space. So this is the perspective that you need to develop. And this perspective can only be developed when you will read the newspaper from a sociological perspective. Whatever newspaper you are reading, just if there is any news, try to analyze it in a sociological way, and it will definitely help you in paper 2. And the news can be used as an example in the paper 1. So, we have some students, see, basically, finding example is on you, that you have to find your example. Anything, for example, right now this Agniveer is going on. So what is the sociological perspective of the Agniveer? So that you have to find, that you have to understand. And if there is certain problem with the understanding, on that part I will come in. Say, for example, Weberian bureaucracy and Agniveer. So bureaucracy, one of the very basic traits of the bureaucracy is that is a lifelong profession. But the 4-year period of Agniveer, and how will it be efficient? So these are the things that you have to link it with Weberian bureaucracy or sea right mills. So any persons, any thinker can be linked with the Agniveer. So just think about it. At least give 5 or 10-15 minutes on the newspaper, so that you can read the news in a sociological perspective. And it is very important that you find your example from the newspaper, so that a certain amount of novelty can be introduced in your answer. Now, writing skills. I told you the key factor to score for good sociological answer or for good marks in sociology is knowledge, perspective, and the writing skills. Writing skills, you see that we have to keep it simple, very simple. Simple in the sense that, we are hitting on the right points. And if our language is good, then that is an added advantage. A simple, plain English will also have advantage. But, writing it in such a way that we are capturing the main idea without wasting many words. So, in some of the question, if you find it feasible, you can use the diagrams, but just keep it limited to some of the question. So for example, what is the impact of, say, regional aspirational district program is one of the question. So what is the impact of aspirational district program, and write it in the sociological perspective. Then we have to identify that what this question wanted us to answer is the sociology of localization. Localization as in the sense, see, that there is a divergence between the national norms and state or subnational goals. Subnational goals, for example, the condition that is of the tribes or of the scheduled caste or of the woman at particular area. So what is the sociology of localization? That is an ongoing debate, be it regionalism or be it globalization. So we talk about the sociology of localization. So in this case we can naturally use the diagrams. So we have to present in our idea in such a way with the use of newspaper, example and knowledge, that the answer is nearly perfect. Nobody can write the perfect answer for that matter, and nobody knows what is the perfect answer. So at least in this case we tend to write an answer which is good answer. That is our whole motive. So we have to use the example, we have to use the anything, any improvisation can be made. Okay. So, and the other thing that most of the students are facing is the, there is a culture of brute force of answer writing. That what does brute force of answer writing means? Probably there is a tendency to write answers again and again. Say for example, we are finishing the test at one coaching, so we will join the other coaching and we will again start writing the paper, probably 40-50 paper. That's fine. Writing answer is very good, but everyone who is present here, just after writing the answer, you just read your answer again after evaluation, read your answer again and just find out the things which is missing. Right? If it is possible for you, right now it is not feasible because there is only 75 days. So, but again, revise it. Rather than writing new and newer tests, just think that what is missing in my answer. Focus on that aspect rather than going everywhere and writing the answer without any improvement. Just analyze your own answer. That I could have done this in a better way. The example right now I am using a better example. See, probably I will be evaluating and I will be finding that your example is good. Then that's fine with me. I could have, I would have said that probably this example would have been better. But when you are writing your answer, you yourself are the judge that which example, which current affair part is the most suitable in this question. Okay, you yourself will identify the context. Now, most importantly for, follow the commands. If it is critically evaluate, follow the command, evaluate it with such example that the critical aspect of the question will be discussed. And if there is any confusion to anyone in following the command, or for that matter understanding the command, please tell me. I am happy to illustrate all that, or I can do that in the first class. I believe that everyone is comfortable with the commands. Now, how to optimize in limited time? Optimization in limited time is possible if you will consolidate your syllabus in next 2 months or 1.5 months. After that, improvise. And a supplementary question or 5 or 6 supplementary question will follow after every test, so that your understanding of the current affair and its application in the sociology can be analyzed. That is important, that I will give you 28 questions to write, and for that matter, even if you want to write 28 questions, I will check that. The more question you will write, I am fine with that, but after that a supplementary section will follow, in which the emphasis will be laid upon your application part. Fine? Now, the role of current developments. Every year, see, last year also, lockdown, this year also there was a question from lockdown. Before that, labor code. This year, that how work from home is changing the distinction between formal and informal sector. This is only from paper 1, and this is only from one topic I am telling you, work and economic life. You see that at least 40 marks will be there from the current development or current affairs. Even in the work at this unit, work and economic life, along with this stratification, it will consist of another 70 marks, and which will be based on current affairs. You see that, when we will discuss the first class and the subsequent question, the cult and sect based question, the religion based question, and they just ask about the Tyler and Max Muller. All the major classical thinkers and the thinkers which are mentioned in the syllabus are not asked. They are asking from the Max Muller and Tyler. See that, the conventional way to understand the sociology was impacted this year. That you have to understand every part of the syllabus. Monoism, animism, we have this tendency to leave it, not to revise it. So every part have to be understood. And the next part is how to maintain motivation and perseverance. You have reached till here and you are motivated. Just think about it, and it is for another 75 days, and whatever you have learned in these many years, okay, will be applied. And in this year, see, probably, we have this tendency that we will finish the paper GS, all the GS, and after that we will revise our optional paper. Just don't do that. Read it with the, you just try to mix it, mix it, that, probably we are finishing GS1, after that Sociology, just try to mix it. So on that note, I will discuss two or more question. There was a question from census methods. I believe that everybody till now have revised it. So everything was mentioned in the census method, but the limitation. See, we can write many points, but cost pressures, concern about intrusiveness, privacy and response burden, reduced cooperation, difficulty in the assessing secure apartments and enumerating unsafe area, more complex living arrangement and timelessness concerns. Now, is everyone able to see it? Just read it once, census method, limitations, and you will understand that what I am trying to say. Just read it. You see that you can write many things, but just think about it. Cost pressure, concerns about intrusiveness, privacy and response burden, reduced cooperation, CEA protest. This year, when the census people from the census department went to take the census, they, in some of the areas, particularly minority dominated areas, there was fear of CEA, so there was problem. You see that this is precise point for census method. So other methods, this is the third question of this year, that write down the challenges. Discuss the challenges involved in collecting data through census methods. Example, you can quote from directly from the thinkers only. Other methods, sampling, registration, that what is being followed in the Finland, because census methods are complex, time taking, so this much preciseness is needed in your answer. Now, fourth point, you see division of labor and its relevance. Again, very easy question. All with the question is, explain whether Durkheim's theory of division and labor is relevant in the present day context. Everything pathological division of labor, economic division of labor, and division of labor in the classical conceptions. Along with, if you try to analyze, the surveillance capitalism can also be analyzed, because Durkheim talked about there is a partition in knowledge and subsequently there will be partition in the division of labor, knowledge partition. So you see that you can apply it, and probably the context was this also, and there was centenary of division of labor in 1922. That's why the question was asked. But you see that what is the relevance in the present times? Apart from the classical thing, you have to apply it. Okay, and this was easy question, but you have to think beyond the obvious, like linking it with the gig economy or surveillance capitalism or anything you can think of. Similarly, there is another question, Max Weber, critically examining the Max Weber theory of social stratification. See, Max Weber is one of the thinkers in which not many criticism is found. So what can be the criticism of the Max Weber stratification theory? So you see that the question is, though on the surface of it, it will seem easy, but some points have to be identified. Most of the criticism that exists of Max Weber theory of stratification is Marxian criticism, but what's its application? And if you will try to look into the depth, then you will see that the gig economy and platform economy worker and the reduced role of bureaucracy in this case can be a criticism, or the labor value, the ignorance of labor value by Max Weber can be a criticism of Max Weber theory of stratification. So you see that you have to, not only you have to revise the syllabus, but we have to revise the syllabus in such a way that the specific details, can be recited any times. We have to focus upon the specific, we have to find the specific details. We don't have to beat around the bush, we have to be very specific in our answer. Like I told you that, you can write many things. In this question, you can simply follow the bullet point. Okay, but while writing the example, for example, cost pressure, we can always give an example from the sociological study in India. There, you can cite the thinker. Privacy. Here we can cite the thinker. Okay, reduced cooperation. Example, unsafe area. We can find the example from the Indian case study, and that will make you answer perfect. Fine? Any doubt till now? So on that note, the first test is on 25th of this month, and after finishing the test, I will discuss whatever is the relevant part and important question from the last 5 years of the syllabus. And after that, after 2 tests, a test will follow based on the current affairs, because these are the major portion. Okay, and that test is not mentioned in the overall syllabus, but it will also follow. And in any case, most of you are having my number, you can contact me anytime. Okay? Thanks a lot. Just keep writing the tests and consolidate. Don't, go for the new things. Just remember what you already have. If you have made note, or probably if somebody is having some confusion in the note, then they can also consult me, and we will talk that in detail also. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Welcome to LUKMAAN IAS. Study General Studies with LUKMAAN IAS for building comprehensive knowledge. GS paper 2 and 4 will be taken by S. Ansari, and other papers will be covered by renowned faculties. Live classes are as effective as offline classes. The classes are highly interactive in nature. Your doubts and queries will be addressed, and there will be dictation of notes. In the last 10 years, LUKMAAN IAS has set up a niche in the field of UPSC guidance.